What's poppin', beautiful people? Welcome back to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. Welcome in if you are new here. I am Mrs. Best. We are here to do our weekly recap of the Housewives of Rhode Island. This is a new Bravo show for those who are unsure. It is also the newest addition to the Housewives franchise. I do appreciate everybody for your patience. Normally, I get all of my reviews out the day after it airs if it's something that's on cable like this show. I am in school full-time. I also work full-time, so I have been very busy. So some of my reviews are a little bit late. I did try to communicate with you guys about that, but I appreciate y'all patience. And for the next review, season 1, episode 6, I will be back to doing live streams. But in the meantime, before we get started, I always encourage people, please see the links in the description of this video. There are disclaimers, things and ways that you can contact myself for collaborations if you're interested in a content creator. There are also links to other great creators in the description of this video. I also hope that you guys consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel if you enjoy what we are doing. I thank you and I welcome you, beautiful people. But let's get into this episode sooner or later. We start with Liz, Alicia, and Joellen. They are all meeting up. It looks like Joellen's grandfather passed away. I believe she said he lived to be about 100. That is incredible. That's a wonderful, blessed, and very full life, if we're really being honest. But Joellen was odd. She was kind of asking the group because she missed a couple of things because of this. She was super concerned on whether her name came up while everybody went to do the roll rolling activity because everybody was there but her. And I kind of feel like Joellen, like the way that she acts, that it was a little cringeworthy. I'm just like, girl, you just got to be the center of attention. You need to know that you're relevant. But I also feel like she's just paranoid because of the Rula situation. Maybe she's concerned with how she's being, perceived when she's not there. But Liz made a comment that I kind of agreed with. She was speaking about Joellen. She's like, that's her friend, but she doesn't think that Joellen coming for Rula, like in terms of making us aware of all of the rumors and stuff going on with her husband, because I doubt anybody outside of Rhode Island really knew. But it is kind of whack to be coming for Rula so tough based on something that her husband is doing. How can you blame her for what her spouse is doing? I just don't feel like that's fair. I do appreciate Liz for saying something. And I know that some people may be like, well, Liz, if you feel that way, say it to her face and do more. I don't think it's worth it. I feel like this is just what Joellen does. It seems like if she gets just a little bit of tea, she's going to get as messy as she can. And that's just my opinion, but let me know if you guys feel differently. I'm always curious to see how you guys feel. We did get into Kelsey. She is in this big ass mansion doing hair. I guess she just got some sort of cosmetology license or something of that nature. But she's doing Ashley's hair for her. We learned that this is something she does for her girlfriends, and everything goes well. I guess she did okay. I didn't see much of a difference, but she did okay. It looked like she knew what she was doing. But they discussed Rosie. And Kelsey says that she had cut Rosie's hair as well. And Rosie and Ashley are extremely good friends. So I'm like, why are you talking about Rosie to her friend in my head? But do you, Kelsey, do you? The way Kelsey's dating life works, I don't feel like this is a woman who makes good decisions. Like, I just don't think she thinks things through. But she says she did Rosie's hair for her, a haircut. And she says that Rosie did not post her. And it's like, I get it if someone does your hair. Like, I'm a content creator. There's some people that I support because I like the product. For instance, Courtney, High Life Candles. She is a Black-owned business. She makes candles. I met her through a content creator. I posted about her candles because I liked them. If I didn't like how they would smell, I wouldn't have posted that stuff. So I'm kind of like, just because someone gets a haircut or takes a service from you doesn't mean they have to post you. If you want to be posted, like, ask. But to get upset about not being posted, without ever even asking Rosie to do so, I think is a little weird, because she might have just been like, oh, you're my friend, you do hair, I'm gonna let you do my hair. But that doesn't mean she has to post it. And unless you did like some special style, I don't see the need. Like what she did to Ashley's hair wasn't all of that. It was nice, but it wasn't like a huge show of a hairstylist skill. So I don't know. I felt like it was weird that Kelsey is upset that she didn't get a post, but Ashley gave her a post. Ashley was on Bachelor in Paradise. I feel like that goes a lot further than Rosie, who was the local weather girl to Rhode Island. I'm just saying. And that is not a dig to her. But I just feel like Kelsey is she's trying to make something out of nothing. I'm like, girl, figure out how to leave your man and why you ain't been saving. And now you got to have 2 boyfriends. Figure that out. I cannot, because Kelsey's starting to get messier and messier. Last week, she done triggered Liz, and Liz had a whole crash out and a meltdown. And now she's doing this. So I'm looking at Kelsey like, girl, slow your roll. Please be less messy, Kelsey. Please be less messy. But the ladies end up going on a boat together. That's what we're going to see throughout the episode. Joe Ellen is continuing to act like Rula is the problem. I'm not going to get too much into Joe Ellen right now, but I'm just like, Joe Ellen, you and your husband are perpetuating a rumor about someone else. And again, I can't say this enough. Even though Rula's husband is obviously up to no good and cheating in a messed up way, I don't feel like Joe Ellen needs to keep bringing it up. Also, mind you, Joe Ellen chased a man who belonged to her sister. So I'm like, girl, mind your business. And you would hope that her husband never cheats on her. Because if Joe Ellen did me the way she's doing Rula because of something my husband did, and then her husband did something, oh, I would for sure rub it in her face and all of these crazy things. I for sure would. But on the boat, you guys, Rosie comments about the girls in the group not really being the nicest to her. And she pretty much says that she has accepted that a lot of these ladies just may not ever like her. They may not accept her. And she says that she's okay with it. I think Rosie's fine. I feel like Rosie is messy. And if I'm being entirely honest, I don't think Rosie gives a flying you know what if any of these ladies like her. I think she's just happy to be on TV. She's got a successful career she could fall back on if the TV don't work. Her husband seems to love her and worship the ground she work on. I really don't think Rosie's tripping off of them. So I'm glad that she's accepted that they just going to be difficult, because I think that's important, especially if you're going to be a part of the Housewives. It's extremely important, because there are always going to be times that people are mean to you. It may be different people each season, but there may be seasons where you're on top and have no issues. There may be seasons where nobody likes you and you're not accepted. So Rosie accepting that early on lets me know she may have thick enough skin to deal with reality TV, but she's also familiar with TV with her career. So there is that. But Kelsey is complaining on the boat in real time now about not getting posted by Rosie when she did her hair. She's talking to Rosie, and Rosie's like, well, I'm sorry I didn't post you. I don't know what I can do. And I'm thinking in my head, like, this is dumb. You're mad I didn't post you, but Kelsey, now she's not going to tell nobody to come to you. She's probably not going to return as a client, because now people know if they come to you and get services from you, if they don't post you, they may be in some bullshit. And don't nobody want to deal with some BS over a post. Like, I remember life before social media. When I was in high school, pretty much done with high school, that's when we got MySpace. What a time. What a time. But I remember not having social media. The way we communicated, I guess the closest thing we had was AIM, AOL Instant Messenger. I don't know if people remember that, but that was like how all of my friends communicated, especially if you didn't have a T-Mobile sidekick. I may be showing my age a little bit, but that is how it was. Like, if you did something for your friend, they just did a service for you. There was no way to post them. There was nowhere to post them. You might be lucky to take a picture of it with your Kodak camera and go drop it off at Walgreens, but that was about as deep as it goes. You couldn't even share that picture on social media. So this is what I mean sometimes. We've talked about this a little bit on my channel and on the Watch Your Best Friends channel, how social media kind of sometimes hinders the reactions that we would have normally in relationships. Like, the girl came to you for a service, Kelsey. Just be grateful, like, and make it clear to people that you would like to be posted to get your name out there. I think it's a dumb beef, and Kelsey's trying to make it seem like she wasn't supported, but you were supported because she let you cut her hair. But I'm not gonna lie, Rosie, you ate her up in your confessional. Rosie said, I know Kelsey is used to using people, but my God, because of her situation with her man and how she's doing that. And honestly, dig or not, I kind of agree with Rosie. Like, there has to be a certain sense of entitlement that you get from living a soft life because of this man. Everything she has is because of this man that she's plotting on leaving. It's just one of those things. Kelsey needs to figure it out. She needs to figure it out. I feel like she keeps picking at these little things, and she's kind of giving like Ashley Darby energy. Like, she just gets on my nerves, you know, but that's okay. Maybe that's what makes her a good housewife. But we move forward because these two eventually just, you know, stopped arguing. Thank thy Lord. But Liz and her husband, they are selling their boat. She's always talking about Jerry and his sport fishing. And honestly, it seems like much of their marriage, he wasn't around. Because I know they have their cannabis company. And then she says when they got together, she didn't have kids, but his kids immediately came to live with her, and that became priority. He did the fishing. Now he's selling his boat. They seem very emotional about selling the boat. His reason for selling it seems to be that he wants to like be around his grandkids and things like that. But I'm kind of like, you could have kept your boat and still had family time. And maybe just like invited people. I am so congested, y'all. I'm so sorry. But he could have still had a time and kept his boat, put his kids on the boat, taught them and their kids about things. Like, I don't quite understand the selling of the boat. Maybe it's a lot of maintenance. Maybe it's for financial reasons, but they seem like emotionally attached to it. And it seems like he abandoned his marriage to Liz for the sport fishing, which I don't know, but I feel like there's a lot more that Liz and Jerry are not showing us. There's definitely, I think, cracks in their marriages. All marriages, I'm sure, have cracks, but she's on TV. She's pretty much been living life without her husband because he was gone 5 days a week. Like, I would be making them 2 days a week the best 2 days ever. But there's a lot of questions I have about Liz and Jerry's relationship. Let me know if you guys feel the same way or if you think I'm reaching, because let me know if I'm reaching. I could totally accept it. But I just feel like there's a lot more going on that they don't want to share, which I can respect. But obviously, I feel like Liz has a storyline. She's just not giving it all. But maybe she'll open up as the show progresses. You never know. Rula and Joellen decide to meet and talk. And I was like, okay, I could get into this. This is overdue. I feel like maybe if the two ladies talk and away from the group, maybe they could finally make some leeway in their relationship, or at least shutting Joellen up, because she keep bringing up this rumor. And Joellen tells Rula that she feels like Brian is pulling a wool over Rula's head, and she pulls out text messages basically showing Rula, like, look, he is still cheating on you with this woman, the alleged mistress. Well, I guess she's not so alleged, but, you know, the mistress, he's still dealing with the mistress, supposedly. And I was so annoyed with Rula because this man has publicly embarrassed you. So if he has to, if someone has the audacity to publicly embarrass me, then you better have the same cojones to be publicly accountable for me. And I feel like Rula is not allowing her husband to be held accountable, because she says to Joellen about the text, she's like, oh, these are fake. It's AI. Listen, I get the fake texts are out there, but why would, at the time, no one knew the show was filming. Nobody really outside of Rhode Island knew who you were. Why would this lady create fake text at that time? Like, how important were y'all to be able to be taken down for her to do all of that? I don't buy it as being fake text. Other things is Joellen asked her if that was her husband's phone number, which was smart. And I did peep that Rula did not answer the question and just kept saying, it's AI, it's AI. It's like, no, baby, if it's your husband's phone number, it's your husband's phone number. Like, at the end of the day, even if these were fake texts, what Rula doesn't understand is there was something real that happened with your husband in an outside party. So fake or not, you wouldn't be in this situation if your husband to keep his tillywhacker in his pants and within his household, okay? Like, That's just how it is. And I feel like you can say you want to stick beside your husband, people will accept that. There's lots of couples that stay together after cheating that, people are like, okay, we ain't forgot, but whatever, they accept it. But usually it's because there's accountability. She's still trying to protect this man who doesn't seem to give a damn about her. And it doesn't seem like they have a spark or connection, because every time we see Rula with her husband, they're not really chatting. They don't really open up to each other. I don't understand why they're staying married, but apparently that's what they want. But Joellen explains that he's bringing his side chick to coffee in the mornings. And, the reason Joellen says this is because Rula then brings up, like, he stays the night at my house. I have his location. She's like, yeah, you have his location, but Brian is going and meeting up and basically finding ways around what is meant to be to help her rebuild trust as a means for him to continue cheating, which is crazy. And I'm just looking and I'm like, I don't understand why they want to stay married. It's very clear that this man is still cheating. There's still stuff coming out about him in real time that I've been seeing online. But I just kind of like, Rula, as a Gemini, baby, I'm not understanding why you're moving like this, because we usually are man eaters and will be gone so fast, or are the ones that do the cheating. So I'm surprised at Rula. I know for some women, like, family, marriage, culture, it's valuable. And I know Rula was telling us when we first got introduced to her that because of her Persian culture, it makes her more likely to stay in a marriage. And she didn't want to speak about her first failed marriage. But girl, you already been divorced. What's one more? What's one more? You're financially secure. You're financially independent. You're on a television show, which adds further to your finances. And your spouse, who you could divorce, makes enough as well so that your children will be okay. Like, get the divorce, girl. Get the divorce. Or if you're not going to divorce, call me. Call some of your friends of color. We'll go tear up his house, tear up the spot. Like, do something though, Rula, because this is not cute. And at the same time with Joellen, I can't tell you guys if Joellen is really genuine and trying to be like woman to woman, I'm looking out for you, or if she's doing this for the show and it's truly messy. But I want her to ease up a little bit, because it does look weird that she's friends with someone who's friends with someone who's a mistress. Birds of a feather flock together. So I think Joellen should pull back, but that's just my opinion. But the group later ends up going to Polo, and Kelsey annoyed me. She was so fixated on Rosie. Like, get over it, Kelsey. This is a stupid beef. We don't care about it. It's childish. Get over it. Get a job. Do something. But it was extremely convenient that at this polo event, because Rula and Brian are there, and halfway through the event, or midway through, Brian says that his mother is sick. She's so sick, he gets a phone call, and apparently his mother has to go to the hospital. And I'm like, how convenient when you're around the group. Now you have to find a way out. When after the last time you were around the group, they questioned your ass. Now you're trying to find a way out. But Joellen tells us she has a friend who is close with Brian's mistress, and he is trying to go see the mistress, and that's the reason why he is leaving the event early. I think Joellen told her friend that she would be at that event and might have like participated in some way to get him caught up, but it didn't work out the way she wanted. And I'm looking at Joellen like, why are you continuing to talk about this publicly with these women? Like, I get it. Brian's shifty. He's shady. But at some point you have to say you've made your point and just allow what's going to happen in the universe to happen. Like, when I have friends that make questionable relationship decisions, I try not to just attack and down the spouse. I let them know I don't like this person. I let them know my reasons why. I try to uplift them, and then I let them do what they do. And if they get their heart broke, they get their heart broke. That's all you can do sometimes with people. Be there when they're crying and let them do what they do. That's all you can do. Because Joellen, you're making yourself just look guilty. That's all. That's all. But Rula returns to the event after Brian leaves, and she returns with Brian. For whatever reason, she got him to stay. She probably cussed him out and was like, you better not leave this event after what they've been doing. And these rumors, Rula must have cussed him out something vicious off camera to get him to stay at the event. And I'm glad he stayed, because it also kind of debunks what Joe Ellen was trying to push in terms of that narrative of him going to see the mistress. But Rosie mentions that she's going to be building her home. And this gets back to Kelsey, who says that Rosie exaggerates. And I'm looking at Kelsey like, so because Rosie's talking about building onto her home to make it way more square feet, they're saying that Rosie exaggerates. Baby, she may be exaggerating, but at least it's her house. Okay? At least her name's on the mortgage. She participates in the bills. And if anything happens, she legally has a right to fight for it. Kelsey, is always somebody living in a glass house like yourself that they don't own that wants to throw stones at somebody else. You can't say shit about nobody else's house, how they exaggerate, what they lie about as it relates to their property, because at least it's their property. At least it's theirs. Be quiet, Kelsey. Be quiet. And people could say, wait, Mrs. Best, but Alicia's name isn't on her property. It's not, but at least her man lived there with her full time. So Kelsey needs to really come up off Rosie. And Rosie's messy too, but Rosie is not doing anything to poke the bear. It just really looks like Kelsey just doesn't like her and wants to continue having an issue with her. But later on, it's a thing at the event because people notice that Brian does not have his wedding ring on. And I was just like, Brian, like, are you intentionally sloppy with your cheating, Brian, so that Rula will leave you? Like, is there something I'm not understanding? Because I'll be damned if this man is not trying to make it clear and shout to the horizons, the Bravo television fan base. If he ain't trying to say, I'm cheating, free me, and she's just keeping him stuck, I don't know what else will. Why aren't you wearing your wedding ring, sir? Talk about you take it off because it hurts you. Then do what my husband did. When his wedding ring was impacting him at work, he went and got that motherfucker resized so that he had no excuse to not take it off. He said, I want a tungsten something, this type of ring, because at the time he was working in a factory, and he said he wants something that can't be scratched or damaged. If a man wants to wear his ring, baby, what I'm saying is a man will wear his ring. And it's looking like Brian don't want to wear his ring. Ridiculous. Talk about because I'm a foot doctor. Put the gloves on. Y'all put gloves on as podiatrists. Like, stop playing with us. Them gloves could go right over that wedding ring, sir. Right over it. You're not going to have rumors going around and not be wearing a ring. Cannot stand Brian. But, you know, Rula deals with it. Rula deals with it. But Brian then, everybody decides to pull Brian, Liz and Brian aside. And Brian gets annoyed because they pull him aside to question him again about his discretions. He gets annoyed and he pretty much makes the comment like he's ready to go. He's done. And, you know, Joellen ends up yelling at Brian, which I thought was a little bit much because, you know, as a woman, he can't yell back at you. But she then whispered to Rula that she's willing to help her get to the bottom of exactly what's going on with Brian. And it looked like Rula wanted to hear her. I feel like Rula's going through the same tug of war that we're probably going through as viewers, where it's like, damn, I want you to work with Joellen so you could know what's really going on with this man. But then at the same time, I'm questioning Joellen's intentions. But I still hope Rula work with her and figure out what's going on, because I can't watch her sit in this delusion. And if I do watch her sit in a delusion, I need to know that you truly are a Rashida Frost brain type of broad, Rula, because you will see him cheat and have the evidence and still stay. Once we know that, we can move on and the story becomes less scandalous. But Brian says he spoke to this woman on the phone yesterday. I was like, why would you speak to the woman on the phone? And he claims Rula knows about it. I just feel like the whole situation is odd. But I hollered at Rosie's husband, Rich, because we ended the episode on a high note, because Rich was funny. Rich said, oh, wow, this is what's going on. They giving Rich the tea. And, you know, Rosie's husband is just corny and funny and everything that you love in a person. And he said, sounds like she doesn't have very good mistress etiquette. Rich, what the hell is mistress etiquette, Rich? Rosie, you better go check on Rich. his friendliness just might get him into a situation. He said, sounds like terrible mistress etiquette. He said these hoes need etiquette. Okay, Rich. Rich had me cracking up when he said that. I just thought that was the funniest thing. It tickled me. It really did. It really did. But y'all, that's my review of this episode of the Housewives of Rhode Island. I'm so sorry. I love you guys and Thug Life. I promise the next review will be a live review. I just got behind this week, but after this week, I should be caught up. I do appreciate everybody for tuning in. Also, check out the video drops that I'll have up on the channel. There are going to be a lot of videos that are dropping at the same time as this one. I'm going to be getting a Love and Hip Hop Atlanta live out of the way today as well, I believe, with Watch Your Mouth reviews. So just be on the lookout for everything. But other than that, beautiful people, thank you for watching Thug Life, and I will see you next time.